Welcome to Legacy Conversations, a channel where we preserve military memories and history.
Internet, great to have you here with me today. I want to introduce you to two lads that I know from long ago. From the early 80s, I'd say. Very early 80s. Sean Moorhouse, who is an old member of 6 and 16. Rob Carlisle, who was a 6 Squadron member. I'm not quite sure where Rob went, but we'll talk to him on another day about that after 6 Squadron closed down. Of course, when 6 Squadron closed down, I ran away to 16 Squadron. Suited me fine to remain in PE. Now, this inspiration for this chat started last week. These two gentlemen that I'm speaking with have really got a flame burning for a terrific project down in Port Elizabeth. I am not going to say a word more. Let them tell you about it. And then afterwards, just before we say goodbye, I'm going to ask you to do us all a massive favor, all of you watching this in the not too distant future. Thank you, Rob, and thank you, Sean, for joining me.
Vossie,
Thanks, Vossie, for having
thanks
us.
so much for the opportunity. Yes, we just recently lost a good friend of ours, Dennis Luck, who I was fortunate enough to be with in 1978 when we started in the force and that together at 68 Air School. What happened is Dennis has passed away from cancer and everything like that. The guy's been suffering for a long time. And, I just thought in South Africa and basically globally, there is so little done for military veterans. So what I said to Sean, and I put it out into our Air Force group, and that is, why do we not look at maybe putting something up, a nice wall of remembrance? Because here in South Africa, very little is done for this type of thing anymore. And I just felt that it's a necessary thing. We've lost a lot of people. And I think our list, I'm not joking, it's quite significant. I think it's about 106 people that we were with, that we served with, that are no longer with us. And I just felt it is necessary that from Air Force Base Port Elizabeth or Air Force Station PE and wherever the other guys were, when they all started. I'm an infantry guy, I'm an infantry explosives guy when I started, and Sean, I know, was a heavy artillery, metal mechanized guy and that sort of thing. So we all came from very, very different backgrounds, but we all ended up at one thing. We were all the same. We were all good friends. We were all veterans, and it's sort of time that we stood back now and recognized the guys that we were with at Port Elizabeth. And over the years, as I said, people have gone, people have come and people have gone, people have now passed away, and it's about time we put something together. So with Sean, and quite a few other guys that are also looking into this, we thought, why don't we build a nice wall of remembrance at the Air Force Museum in Port Elizabeth, and let's take it forward from there. I'll hand over to Sean because he's done a bit more work when it comes to finding out what we want to do, and he's the one that got the authorities. I'm 250 kilometers away in Neisner, where I live. Sean is the man on the ground there who's really doing the footwork at the moment. I'm sort of more the admin guy. He's the foot slogger at this stage. So Sean, if I could ask you to give everybody a bit of a highlight of, what you have discussed with the other guys, at the Air Force Base and as well as the museum. I'm sure we can do. I think we also have to throw ideas together because we don't exactly know what we want to do. I've done some costings and quotes and that type of thing, and I just believe it's a very, very important thing for us not to forget the people that we were with and not to forget our friends, as so many times it does happen out there. Anyway, Sean, over to you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. I think this whole thing, we've got a WhatsApp group, and we pretty much refer to ourselves as the Air Force as PE Veterans Group. And it's been going for many years now. It actually was established in 2021. And since then, we've obviously had 4 annual reunions as well, too. But it essentially started from this group with Dennis Luck passing away, and then the idea came up. And what's actually going to happen is all the members on the group are actually going to donate sufficient money to actually have this wall built, which is fantastic. So Rob's going to organise banking details and that, so that we can actually transfer the money to have it built. Now, initially, because we want to have the Wall of Remembrance built at the SAF Museum, Brett Williams and myself, who's also a ex-FSB member, decided to go to the FS Museum and try and have a look and see where we can locate this. And we did speak to the curator of the museum at the time. And we've chosen a place at the museum where it's actually, in fact, facing Air Force Base PE. So from the Wall of Remembrance, you can actually see the base, which is fantastic. Now, on Sunday, I was actually at the museum. They had an open day there, and I was assisting. And the OC of the SAF Museums was actually, in fact, there, Lieutenant Colonel Galishwe. And I managed to get some time with him and actually spoke to him about putting up a Wall of Remembrance, because obviously we need to get authority to have it built. And he's actually very happy and has given us permission to actually put the Wall of Remembrance up. So then since then as well too, we've had, because it's a Wall of Remembrance, it's probably it's a good idea to actually have the wall consecrated. So the SAFA PE branch chaplain, Reverend Mark Bath, has offered to consecrate the Wall of Remembrance. Now, I think just to give you a little bit of background on what we've had to go through, we've got, as I mentioned, we've got 107 names on the list already, and those are just members in our time. So from the sort of late 70s to probably 90s, maybe early 90s. So there's quite a lot missing, because according to records, Air Force Base PE was actually established in 1938. I'm not sure that that's correct. I think that could have been 42 Air School at the time. But essentially, the base was established in 1952 as a citizen force squadron, and it was Harvard's initially. And then in 1959, it was actually disbanded and then reopened again in 1961 with Harvard's at the time as well too. And then in 1973, and the reason why I'm giving this background is just to give you an idea of who the names and that we need to get together. In 1973, the Allo Squadron, 16 Squadron A Flight moved to PE. 1975, the Harvards, the Impalas, Impala Mark 1 moved to 6 Squadron, moved to PE as well. So we need to basically try and get all the names of all the people that have passed away over that period and up to today. This is obviously let's take it from 1952 to present day. So it'll have everybody's names on there. So that's the plan, and we've got nice ideas of actually having it built. Where we're going to do it, we'll have the Air Force Base PE emblem with penguin in the middle of the Remembrance Wall, and have all the names put up. So that's the plan so far at this point in time.
It's just a matter of getting things together. I've got to identify the plaques. So I'm meeting people tomorrow to have the plaques done. I've already found some that will do the engraving at a very good price for us. So we need to get all the names finalized, that type of thing, pretty shortly. I was thinking of a small plaque, very similar to the name tags. You know, I think name tags were personal to all of us. So if we had a name tag of that person that's passed, sort of put on the wall, it's almost a remembrance of that person, taking it off his step outs and that sort of thing and putting it on there. So I'm going to look at something in that sort of line, you know, a gold sort of thing. We've got to make it out of material that's not going to be, you know, perishable, that sort of thing. So we're looking at a gold type weathered plastic that they use in the moss clubs and that type of thing. So I'll be meeting with the folks tomorrow morning to have a look at this and get all the pricing sorted out, the sizes. You know, the initial size I thought is about 100 millimeters by 20 millimeters. depending on what we, pricing, all that sort of thing. So it's quite a long way to go, but I do believe we should get this thing established relatively quick. That's horrible to say, but the list is growing, and then which is the pretty scary thing. So yes, from my side, not a lot to sort of report on at this stage, but I do believe that we have a lot to do in the future. We got to make it right. This is a very, very special thing, for all the guys that we were with and now are no longer with, and that sort of thing. So it has to be a worthwhile, a quality, something that people can go to as a family. If somebody wants to go and have a look there and see, well, there's my loved one on the wall, it's great. It's got to be done in a nice and very, very tasteful way. So I think that's the bottom line, is to get it done properly in a tasteful way. I know we all, fund-wise, it's going to be very, very difficult, but we've got to do the best that we can with the resources that we will collect. And as I mentioned, everything's going to be donations. So whatever comes in, if we do have excessive donations or whatever, it'll be wonderful to have this, the Rev come round and do his thing and, have a bribe for all the guys that have contributed, and a sort of unveiling of the wall when it's finished. And that, I think we got to make something of this. And I think once it's up, it's there for life. And that's the main thing. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I think as well too. I think really from my side, my only concern is that we leave somebody's name off. So that's my only concern. So if anybody watches this video and knows of somebody that has passed away that used to serve at Air Force Base PE, whether they were with Atlas or in civilian clothes, to please get their names through to us so we can really make sure that their names are up on the wall as well too. And this wall will probably be used on an annual basis during the the Remembrance Day on 11th of November, where we could actually have a memorial or a small memorial parade there where we can actually lay wreaths and that sort of stuff as well. And I think it'll be awesome to have that. So please, if anybody is aware or knows of somebody that has passed away that used to work at FSP, they need to please get hold of us or get hold of Vossie. Vossie can get the names through to us, but we would love to have those names to make sure that we have everybody's name. We had a bit of an amusing little episode on the group where they were putting the names on, and the person that's actually guilty is here with us. I won't mention a name, but somebody's name was mentioned, and straight after the comment on the WhatsApp group, the guy responded and said, "Please don't put my name on the list yet. I'm still breathing."
I would like to correct something here. Yes, I was the guilty one. But at the top of that, I said, I'm not quite sure about some of these. And of course, I put young Warren's name. Why I put young Warren's name was he was a national serviceman. But him and I had a great time there because I think I taught him the fundamentals of toolbox control, because he was going to Atlas Aircraft Corporation after he finished his national service. So he used to, when he saw me coming in, make sure everything was back in the toolbox very, very quickly. So sorry, Warren, my fault.
I think it's actually quite sort of nice to have a little bit of a smile every now and then, even though we are putting up a wall of remembrance. I think it's good. So I'm really hoping to get this done as soon as possible. We're actually getting somebody. Brett's actually going to have an AI model made of the Remembrance Wall. Then we can actually put it up on the group, and then once we've got that, then we can actually give it to somebody to give us a quote, so we can actually have it built and get it going as soon as possible. So my wish is to have this done in the first quarter of next year. That's what I would like to see happen. But anyway, thank you, Vossie, for the opportunity for us to actually mention this. And again, please, anybody knows any names, please get them through to us. Thanks a lot, Vossie.
Right. Vossie, from opportunity, I think we all appreciate that. To go up pretty much all over the world now, whatever it is the group would cover. But yeah, it's wonderful. There are a lot of guys from the squadrons that are now we know of guys that are in Australia. We know guys in New Zealand, Canada, the UK, all over the world where the guys have actually gone out to. Yes, we know a lot of guys that are still with us, but however, yeah, we don't know the guys that are no longer with us. And yeah, as soon as we get that done, look, trust me, there's going to be extra space on there. There's no ways we're going to build a recorder. This is not a scan and build to size type of thing. We're going to have to put there for extensions, because, well, it's inevitable that names are going to be added to that list. So I think simplicity of the build and simplicity of the name plaques, that type of thing, will render, uniformity to what it looks like in that. So, yeah, from my side, Vossie, thank you very much for the opportunity. Sean, always great to work with you, mate.
Yeah,
Thank you.
likewise.
I'm going to say thank you, lads, that you've given us of your time. This is a terrific endeavor. So I'm going to ask all of you that view this video to please share it on your groups. Please share it amongst other veterans organizations and Facebook pages and the likes. As I've mentioned to Sean and to Rob, I do not do Facebook. We at Legacy Conversations, we don't do Facebook, but we can share it on WhatsApp as wide as what we can. I'm also going to say here, I am going to try and work all those names, 107 Sean mentioned. At the end of the video, I am going to have them in lists. So you can pause on them and you can see and you can reflect on that. I think it's only but fair that we do this in that way. And if you then see somebody else's or see a name that you know is missing off that list, get it through to any of us, please. We will keep this ball rolling. I promise you. From my side, this is my little bit of giving back, apart from the fact, which reminds me, for the internationals, please, I'm going to beg again, PayPal. Anyway,
Please.
yeah, I'm asking, and I'll keep asking as long as this video goes on. Support us, folk. Support it, even if you just spread the video around. As you all know, here at Legacy Conversations, Koos visited the museum, and there were a number of good Port Elizabeth Air Force Base. No, sorry, let me try again. Port Elizabeth Friends of the Museum videos on the channel. I'll leave one or two cards. Sean and Rob have been instrumental in getting reunions going, of which we've hosted one or two on here on Legacy. So yes, these are friends of mine doing the best that they can to get the flames of camaraderie going and keeping them going. Thank you, gents.
Thank you.
Vossie, thanks very much.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to receive notifications.